Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get the shoe.
Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial?
The SNKRS app hadn't even hit 10:01 a.m. before every size of Caitlin Clark's navy and crimson Kobe 5 PE flashed gray and disappeared. 13,000 pairs, gone in barely a minute, then relisted within hours for twice, sometimes 3 times, retail. It wasn't just a smash hit product drop, it was Nike's loudest confession in years. We backed the wrong horse, and now we're sprinting to catch the right one. The sellout frenzy was the spark. A far bigger blaze of culture, commerce, and controversy was already gathering behind it. Picture Nike's Beaverton War Room on that late June morning. Screens pulsing with live analytics, executives refreshing dashboards, a hush so thick you could hear the HVC hum. For 2 years, every brainstorm around women's basketball had revolved around A'ja Wilson. The company poured millions into her A1 rollout, custom logos, pearl accents for grandma, even a short film directed by Malia Obama. Thoughtful, polished, exactly the soulful narrative the swoosh loves. Yet each time Caitlin Clark popped up in a shared montage, just a 2-second cameo draining a 30-footer, engagement spiked. Comment threads filled with anxious fans asking when Clark would finally get her own shoe. Revenue stalled, stock sagged, and internal surveys showed Gen Z associating women's hoops almost exclusively with one name. The math grew undeniable. Clark's collegiate finale alone generated more than $80 million of local spending in Iowa. Her WNBA debut punched TV ratings into primetime territory. Her road games turned sleepy arenas into sellouts. So Nike elevated her low-key player exclusive into a high-priority launch. Supply chain partners got frantic calls, ad slots were shuffled, and the in-house studio rushed a silent locker room spot linking Clark to Kobe's Mamba mythology. When the shoe launched, it wasn't just a release. It was a public renunciation of the company's previous bet, and the numbers spoke louder still. The first size vanished in 3 seconds. The grid was half empty by 20, and everything was gone at 60. StockX posted a women's 9 at $428 before most buyers received confirmation emails. In suburban malls, lines wrapped twice around the building. Store managers with 40 pairs watched inventory evaporate with the sun barely above the roofline. Bots feasted, campers cheered, and social feeds overflowed with screenshots of empty carts. Contrast that with Wilson's launch. Despite heavy promo, her pairs lingered. The restock needed banner ads and coupon codes, and today a pearlescent women's 10 sits discounted below retail. Internal dashboards showed Clark's release moving at quadruple the velocity with no influencer seeding. 70% of Clark buyers added a second item to their carts: jerseys, tees, youth socks, creating a halo effect rare in any women's performance category. The receipts fueled a bigger engine. Economists called it the Clark effect. Triple-digit attendance jumps, secondary market tickets tripling in price, arenas reopening long-shuttered upper decks. Corporate partners rewrote contracts to guarantee at least one Fever broadcast every national window. WNBA franchise valuations, once stuck below $50 million, began flirting with 9-figure territory. Expansion decks for Toronto and Portland started circulating. Detroit and Cleveland feasibility studies weren't far behind. Inside Nike, though, spreadsheets told a different story. Footwear growth had stalled and investors were restless. Curated heritage campaigns were no longer enough. Clarkonomics offered something simpler, a feedback loop where every deep 3 triggered a spike in searches. Every spike in searches moved more product. Consumers didn't need footnotes. They were supplying the narrative themselves. That contrast showed in the shoes. Wilson's A1 carried an autobiography on its midsole, Celtic runes, hometown barbecue maps, hidden quotes. Clark's Kobe remix was almost Spartan, a navy forefoot, crimson heel, faint gold swoosh, and a serpent eye Easter egg. Minimal, direct, instantly recognizable, and it detonated at retail. Designers admitted the constraint helped. When the athlete's own story lit up the room, the shoe could play it cool and still pull alarms. But success set off a culture war storm. Passages from Wilson's recent Time profile, suggesting brands gravitate toward familiar faces, resurfaced. Commentators split into camps, one crying bias, the other pointing to pure demand. TikTok edits titled "Wilson Furious as Nike Jumps Ship" racked up views, framing a single courtside eyebrow as proof of fury. Wilson's camp issued a calm statement. More shoes sold is good for everyone. Yet the narrative machine rolled on. Clark sidestepped it all, praising the legends who built the league. Nike stayed silent, letting marketing do the talking. Micro ads of Clark sinking logo threes, each ending on nothing more than a date. One ad in particular rewired the conversation. 40 seconds, no narration. Clark alone in a dim locker room, lacing her Kobe's, looking up as her pupil flickered into the Mamba logo. 5 silent letters, CLARK and fade. Within a day, it became Nike's most watched women's basketball spot ever, outpacing Serena and Taurasi combined. Forums dissected the snake eye frame by frame. Finance blogs noted a subtle bump in Nike's share price. Inside headquarters, prototypes for her true signature line rolled out of cold storage under the codename Project Hawkeye. While investors whispered about a holiday surprise drop, the halo widened. Ticket apps overloaded for Fever Road games. Local bars streamed contests like mini championship nights. Streaming partners rewrote packages, shoehorned more Indiana games into prime slots. Sponsor budgets climbed. Wall Street analysts who had downgraded Nike months earlier reclassified the stock a recovery play, betting one women's line could cascade into apparel, accessories, even lifestyle collabs left dormant for years. The momentum lifts rivals too. Wilson's next colorway moves faster than her first, buoyed by curiosity and artistry. Clark herself generated. Rivalry night ticket packages sell briskly. Casual fans leave knowing half the league's roster. One athlete widens the stage rather than hogging the spotlight. So stand at center court and look up. Packed decks, flash-ready phones, a kid in a size-down number 22 convinced the step back is within reach. That snapshot is why Nike's spreadsheets can't look away. You can pour millions into storyboards. Nothing outperforms the story fans write together in real time. For Nike, the flywheel is now moving too fast to slow. Each Clark highlight is free advertising. Each sellout crowd a billboard. Hesitate, and competitors will draft the slipstream. The WNBA faces its own crossroads. Convert eyeballs into lasting infrastructure, or risk letting the wave crest and crash. If they lock in primetime windows, expand smartly, and share new revenue transparently, Clark's rookie fire becomes the league's long-term furnace. And for everyone else, parents hunting resale at 1 a.m., bloggers chasing the next metric spike, this chapter is pure optional energy. Every deep three feels like a bell ringing far beyond the arena, signaling another ceiling lifting a little higher. Rumors hint at an interim signature before the full line drops. Ticket brokers circle next season's Commissioner's Cup like a Super Bowl, and each domino topples the next. If you were hammering refresh on launch day, you're now part of the data that rewired a Fortune 500 strategy. When tonight's broadcast tips and you lean closer the moment Clark crosses half court, you're feeding the loop that keeps servers sweating. Drop a quick baby goat in the comments if you're riding the wave, and watch the view counter sprint as fast as a vintage SNKRS sellout. Because this isn't merely a rookie phenom or a shoe drop. It's proof a single authentic spark, one logo 3, one silent snake eye glint can redraw the map for athletes, brands, and an entire sport. The only question now is who keeps pace and who's left paging through yesterday's playbook. Cue the arena lights.